there are four main ways that Satan will attack your mind to try to drive out love from your life. Let's take a look at these. First of all, he does it through offenses. An offense is holding on to a hurt that you have in your life, feeling justified about some kind of anger based upon mistreatment or perceived mistreatment. And so you get wounded on the inside and you hold on to that hurt. You hold on to that pain. You're not willing to let it go. It becomes a grudge, oftentimes results in retaliatory behavior. It actually affects every part of your being because you view the other person through the lens of being offended at them. So your perspective of them is totally changed because you view them now as an enemy. You view them now in a way that is destructive to your life, and so you become very protective in the way that you live your life in regards to them. And so you carry an offense. The second way that the enemy loves to attack us is through suspicions. A suspicion would be a negative imagination that you have about another person's motives or their heart or their intentions. And the enemy is very good at painting in our minds all these suspicions about other people, wondering what they really think about us and wondering what their motives are in our direction. What are their intentions? What is their heart toward us? And making us guess about that and to imagine that they're somehow opposed to us in some way or trying to hurt us in some way. These are suspicious kinds of thoughts and imaginations that will drive a wedge in your relationships. So he uses offenses, he uses suspicions, he also uses prejudices. A prejudice is an unrecognized or an unacknowledged, usually unacknowledged, sometimes it's unrecognized, most of the time it's unacknowledged, negative bias towards someone or negative bias toward a group of people. That when you form in your mind a negative bias towards someone, it affects how you view them. It's called a prejudgment, a prejudice that you carry. You may be aware of it, you may not be aware of it. Even if you're aware of it, you may not be willing to acknowledge that it exists in your life. And prejudice oftentimes goes through our being and in our relationships without us even realizing that it's there. It's very destructive in the way that we interact with people around us. It blocks the flow of love. And so Satan comes along and he wants you to be offended. Satan comes along and he wants you to be suspicious of someone, having a negative imagination about what they're thinking about you or how they're treating you. Satan comes along and wants to plant prejudices, prejudgments in our mind. And then the fourth one, that's the common way of attack of the enemy in our minds, would be through judgments. That's holding a negative, condemning, disrespectful opinion of someone else. You've formed a judgment about them and you hold to that judgment, and you've now categorized a person in a certain way, and your categorization of them hinders the way that now you're going to relate to them. It changes your attitudes toward them.